spelling, typically presided over by jazz pianist and one-time beatnik Vivian Sales, helped out by her teenage kids, Nina and Jake. You never knew what might be on sale there. Anything from homemade baked goods to 7 inches in demo tapes to the club's unofficial soft drink, Jolt Cola, all the sugar and twice the caffeine. Eggplant and Claude, like many younger punks, seldom had the $4 or $5 it cost to get in, so they'd volunteer to work in exchange for free admission. I could afford to pay, but wound up working most nights anyway, all too often on the security detail. Security was one of the most vital and least pleasant jobs, especially during that first year. We hadn't realized how much of a challenge it would be, having naively assumed that because we banned alcohol, racism, sexism, and violence, that punks who were into those things would not want to come to our shows. But we were mistaken. Many old school chaos and gutter punks took our policy as a personal insult. They'd turn up and demand to be let in, but when they were, it was near certainty they'd be fighting or breaking things before the first band was through. The most persistent of them, and definitely the biggest pain in the ass, was a Sid Vicious clone known as Screamer. Despite repeatedly being thrown out and eventually being given a semi-permanent ban, he kept coming back. It was as if he thought everyone in Gilman had amnesia and wouldn't remember what he'd done the last 10 times he'd been there. "You can't keep me out," he'd argue. "This is a punk club, and I'm a punk." This was a potent argument. It even worked sometimes. Especially if someone inexperienced was working the door. The question of who was or wasn't a punk, and whether we had the right to exclude anyone from shows, occupied many an angst-ridden hour at our Saturday afternoon meetings. The debate wasn't only about people like Screamer. It became obvious that trouble was more likely to erupt when certain bands played. Confrontation and disruption were central principles of punk rock, so it was inevitable that someone would always be trying to take things one step further. For instance, when frank destruction of the feeders tossed a dead dog into the audience. Some people thought that was hilarious. Others, not so much. It earned us unflattering publicity in the mainstream press, but the truly thorny issue was what to do about bands who, for reasons that weren't always clear, attracted fans who seemed to think it wasn't a punk show unless you were beating the shit out of somebody. What made it